Hello, everyone. Welcome to Greatness Valley Lifestyle and Prayer Cafe, where faith meets lifestyle. Today, we will explore how the patriarch Jacob found hope while grieving. This is a series, and today is part one, Jacob finding hope in the depths of despair. We want to uplift those who are grieving as we learn from those who walked this path of grief before. Today we delve deep in the profound sorrow of Jacob as told in Genesis 37. We will focus on verse 35. And it reads, "All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. 'No,' he said, 'I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave.' So Jacob wept for Joseph." Father in heaven, we just want to thank you for being a God who cares about our heart, a God who cares about all the moments in our lives, including the moments where we grieve. We ask that you be with those who are grieving right now, and that you will keep their hearts and minds close to yours, and that you will minister to each heart wherever we find ourselves at this time, in the homes, at work, church, schools, in prison, wherever we find ourselves. We ask that your Holy Spirit will find us and linger a while with us as we navigate this topic of grief. In Jesus' name, amen. That was a very straightforward response from Jacob to his sons and daughters who came to comfort him over the death of his son, Joseph. All right, let's explore that a little bit more. Okay? As we look back, we can recall that Jacob is also known as Israel. He faced what he believed to be the ultimate tragedy, the death of his beloved son, Joseph. Upon seeing what was brought to him by his older sons, a blood-stained garment, Jacob was inconsolable, declaring that he would mourn until joining his son in death. This level of despair reveals the depths of a father's love and the piercing pain of grief when he got this horrible news that his son Joseph was no more. In the ancient Near East, grief was often expressed through outward displays of mourning, such as tearing of garments and wearing sackcloth. Rituals and customs surrounding death varied among the cultures. The mourning process and practices were designed to express and honor the depth of one's sorrow. As we look closer, we can see that Jacob's grief was compounded not only by the cultural norms, but he arrived at this moment already grieving for the love of his life, his wife, Rachel. You'll have to read that entire story. Now, think about it. First, the wife he absolutely adored, Rachel, died during childbirth, giving birth to his last son, Benjamin. Then years later, news came that Joseph, the older of the two sons he shared with her, was dead. So Jacob is experiencing double mourning. He never really got over the loss of his beloved Rachel. And here he's being told that Rachel's son, his son, is dead. He was living with the grief of his wife Rachel and felt that he still had a part of her in the two sons he shared with her. So Joseph was the older of the two. In our contemporary society, the grieving process is influenced by cultural norms, religious beliefs, and also individual coping mechanisms, among other things. However, societal attitudes towards grief have evolved, at least in some ways. We have a greater recognition today of the need for empathy and support for those who are mourning. But despite these advancements, many still struggle to navigate the turbulent waves of grief, seeking solace and meaning in the midst of loss. It's not easy. And so some people may turn to therapy. There's nothing wrong with that. Support groups, nothing wrong with that. Others may turn to spiritual practices. Nothing wrong with that. But regardless of the approach, the journey through grief is a deeply personal and often transformative experience. Are you wondering how Jacob coped with all of this? What really happened? Initially, he refused comfort. Remember, he said, basically, leave me alone. I will never stop mourning until I join my son in the grave. He refused all comfort. Is this good or bad? Well, he allowed his emotions to just be poured out. He didn't care who liked it. He didn't need anybody's permission to just tell it the way he was feeling it. So it's crucial to grasp the magnitude of his sorrow, though. Jacob's anguish was palpable, tearing at the very fabric of his being upon learning of Joseph's fate. His heart-rending cry in this text is very deep. I will die mourning, which encapsulates the intensity of his grief. Jacob's pain was not merely emotional, but reverberated throughout his entire being, consuming him with profound sorrow. The Bible shows how Jacob's older sons' attempts to comfort him failed. I want you to think about that. They came to comfort their father. They brought the news that Joseph was dead. They came to comfort him. I want you to hold on to those two pieces as we dig deeper. Remember, these same sons were the same ones who got rid of Joseph and faked the appearance of his death. Remember, Jacob, the father, does not know that the son was sold into slavery, that they came with the son's garments covered in blood from an animal and gave that to him to let him know that his son was dead. Now these same sons, actually it was how many sons? 12 sons altogether. And so you have the youngest, Benjamin. So you have 10 sons who sold the 11th son, Joseph, into slavery. This scene is heavy with irony and hypocrisy. I mean, you've got to read the whole story. You've got to love the Bible because everything under the sun relating to humanity is right there. So not one of the brothers came forward with the truth. Jacob's cries were like a call for help. Can somebody help me make sense of this? My son is dead. I don't see his body for burial. Only his tunic covered in blood. These brothers had the heart to watch their father broken, suffering night and day, not eating, not socializing, not being himself, just being unkempt. They watched him suffer. And they said nothing. 10 sons watched their elderly father suffered, and they said nothing. The fact that they refused to spill their secret only emphasized how deceptive their hearts were. Even the pain of an inconsolable father in his older years of life didn't break through their hardened hearts. But they showed up to comfort him. Help me make sense of that part right there. They knew what they did. And they are the ones that would be there. Oh, Dad, we love you so much. Things will get better. Everything will be all right very soon. And at least you still have us. And can you imagine? Oh, all this time. Anyway, Jacob, during all of this, chose comfort. He'd rather choose comfort in dying so that he could join his son in the grave than to accept comfort from the 10 sons who are alive. Help me. Help me break this down today. Jacob would rather choose comfort in dying to join his son in the grave than to accept comfort from the 10 sons who are alive. My God, he must knew that those boys had a heart of stone. My God. So here's the patriarch of the family, buried in grief and couldn't wait to die. Withdrawal. We all know that stage of grief, that detachment. And I want to know, do you think this detachment from those boys was justifiable, knowing what they did? Want you to write a comment about that. We also see physical or emotional distress while in this stage it's rough. Poor appetite, lack of energy, lack of sleep. Can you imagine the pain, the headaches, the heartaches, just the whole body aching? Remember, he's grieving more than one persons that he absolutely loved. The mother of the son he loved and the son he loved. This, all right? So what we see here is that Jacob's grief was raw and unfiltered. He did not try to suppress it or to put a facade of strength on it, because remember, he was the patriarch. He's not only responsible as the head leading his family, but leading everyone in the camp, okay? He had men who go out to battle. So he's responsible for soldiers, as it were, okay? He's responsible for families, right? He had servants. So yes, it wasn't just his biological immediate family. He was responsible for, as it were, their community of people, whoever made up that group. So it was a large group. He openly wept and mourned for his son Joseph. This teaches us a lesson that no matter what, we need to acknowledge grief. Grief will force us to acknowledge it in some way, shape, or form. And grief is no respecter of persons. It's no respecter of hierarchy or how great you are, whether you're a patriarch or a peasant. It doesn't matter. So how do you face your sorrow? Do you allow yourself to feel it fully, to be present in it? What would you do if you were in Jacob's situations with these 10 boys around you, trying to comfort you? Remember, Jacob didn't know what we know now. He was experiencing everything in real time. We're experiencing this whole thing by looking back, okay? Almost a reflective narrative, because we can reflect upon what happened to him and compare that to what's happening to us today. So Jacob, in all of this, is just being real, very, very real. What would you do? What are you doing right now in your grief situation or any other situation that really demands a confrontation? Let me know in your comments. Jacob, in the depths of his despair, did something or did not do something that is admirable. He, no matter how hard, how rough everything got, there is no record in historical documents or in the Bible that showed Jacob cursing God. That's big. He did not curse God. Instead, he expressed his pain openly. And that brings us to the point of faith. Even in silence, Jacob's faith was a cornerstone. Though it's not explicitly stated in the text, In our modern context, prayer remains a powerful tool for finding solace and strength in the midst of grief. Are we prioritizing prayer in our lives, especially during seasons of sorrow? How can we cultivate deeper reliance on God's presence in our own trials? We can emulate Jacob's faith. He had faith in God, and yes, he did pray. And we ought to remember that God hears his children and he comforts his children. So that refusal to be comforted by these sons. Eventually, of course, Jacob lived to see that his son was alive. That's another episode. Okay. And his broken heart was restored. So we want to remember to cherish support. Yes. We always talk about support. Cherish support. Yes. We're not telling folk not to allow anyone to support them. But remember, you've got to know who was standing beside you during your trials. These 10 sons caused the whole thing. They were the root cause of this whole thing. This man, their father, is grieving, and they're watching it and doing absolutely nothing except, going through the motions of, let's comfort him, let's do this for him. All this time, remember, Jacob was a patriarch. Not just a symbol in society in a physical way, but a spiritual leader who led his family and community to the worship of Yahweh. So, worshiping every day with these sons, the treachery involved. These sons were being led into worship with their father. He would have been the one to tell them about the goodness of God and the power of God. And remember, it was a lot of oral traditions where information was shared in the spoken word. So all this time they would be praying and giving thanks and blessings to the God of heaven, knowing what they are doing to their father. So it's kind of like today we would go to church, and the brother, the sister, the individual will be sitting next to you, and you're going through this rough time, and they have somewhat of a knife in your back, kind of. Because are they really sorry? Are they really empathizing or sympathizing? Because at the end of it, they were Joseph's brothers. I often wonder if they were crying when they saw their dad Jacob just fall apart. I wondered, would they cry and, Father, we're going to miss Joseph also, and we loved him, we don't want to see anything bad. What did they say? How did they show that they were mourning? Because part of the tradition, as I mentioned earlier, was that sackcloth and ashes kind of thing, meaning you're not going to put on your Giorgio Armani suit and your, the tie and the shoes and the, and just, Jesus loves everybody. And this was not a joke. So I always wondered, how did they show up in the mourning situation? Because it's not just, a small thing. Because Jacob was the patriarch, as he mourns, leading the family, leading the community that he represented, everyone had to join in to mourn with the patriarch. So I would have loved to just see the look on these 10 sons' faces, to see them crying, to see them tearing their garments to show, the depth of their grief. I would have loved to see that spectacle, to know, that they would go along with this entire ceremony, because it wasn't just a small thing. It was a big thing for the entire camp. But they put on their best acting robes and they pulled off the play of the century. Those 10 sons were great actors, I tell you. Their father never found out. But how many of you know that there is a God in heaven? And he sees and knows how many things? All things. All things. And at the same time, he was working out how many things? All things for Jacob's good. And even for those rotten sons' good. God was working things out for their good. You will catch that in another episode. But I'm just saying, in the moment, it's happening in real time. So Jacob has no idea what the future holds, except he wants to die and join his son in the grave. A very sad outlook, but then there are glimmers of hope as the years would have gone by. But a very interesting story that I absolutely enjoy learning from. And so we're being taught here to make sure that the people who are around us, how we're going to do that, we're just going to have to ask God to send the right people around us who mean us good, who want to uplift us and not make a mockery of our situations. People whose hearts are touched with our grief. People who love us, people who want to see good things happen for us. Remember the importance of the groups that you participate in and the individuals who want to just push themselves. Some want to insert themselves into your life, knowing that their hearts are far from you. Tell me, have you ever had an experience like that? Put your comments in the chat. This story will continue in Jacob 1.5. Stay tuned for the next video. Through guided lessons, practical exercises, and supportive resources, you'll learn how to process your emotions, let go of the past, and rise stronger than ever before. No matter how deep the hurt, there's always a way to heal. Join me on this journey of transformation, and together we can turn your pain into power. Sign up today. GreatnessValleyLifestyle.com has the resources you need for a brighter tomorrow. The healing journey begins with you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tips and inspiration on your path to healing. We want to remind you that we have resources to help you navigate through grief. We have a practical guide, How to Step Out of Grief and Bloom. This is for anyone and everyone, whether you're grieving or not. It will prepare you for that time or to help someone who is. This is packed with stories of those who went through grief, the various stages in grief, biblical text that helps you to navigate in terms of God's divine providence and how He sees you and the fact that He is with you. So it really helps you in the day-to-day moments to understand what's happening to you or what is going to happen to you, so you can be proactive and understand it even before it happens. And we also have the Grief Journal, How to Step Out of Grief and Bloom, same name or title as the practical guide. And this is a prompted journal. That means it has all the prompts. It tells you what to do. It asks the questions. It reminds you of all the different activities that you can do, and it gives you examples. It gives you pages so that you can write. It gives you different activities. You can write letters and all of the different things that you need to do to help you as you walk through grief. I assure you, you will not regret having these resources. Check them out on Amazon.com, and the link will also be in the description of this video. Have a wonderful day.